for some reason, people leave my house earlier than expected. I will be here, but I'm not going to chase people out. I mean, because it's Easter and they're going to have dinner, but I will call for sure.
Okay.
Oh, I'll call. We go and talk.
Okay. All right.
It's my mom's birthday.
Hey, a quick question, Donald. What is Trunk Tower?
That's what I'm calling my build-up.
Oh, that's it. You did say.
I'm calling it the Trump Tower.
Well, what are they molding it for?
To sell it?
Sell it, but since I'll be leaving back to San Diego, Summer's going to be missing me, so she needs a little something.
Your wife needs,
Aww.
something to keep her busy, huh?
Busy.
Oh.
So you guys are like officially booed up, right? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's very cool. All right.
I'm sorry, did I put
Boot
you on
up.
the spot?
All right. So you guys want to hear about the 17
Yes.
what the fuck
Yeah,
fetishes?
I'm excited.
I found this list, 17 what the fuck fetishes. The first one is balloon fetish.
Oh, I've heard about this one. In fact, we did some of this.
The balloon fetish can span a couple of different specifics. Some people like seeing others rubbing themselves against balloons or maybe popping them. Some like watching people inflate them until they explode. Others like the super huge ones that you can stick your head inside. I'm not really sure why people are attracted to this, but in my mind, I'm sure there's a link between balloons and breasts.
And latex, too.
Yeah, probably. Vor, we all know about Vor.
CSI, by the way, had
What
a
is
show
Vor?
last
I don't
week
know
about
about Vor.
Vor. CSI did a show about Vor.
Did they?
Yes.
Vor
Is Vor
should be
shitty?
no. Vor should be much creepier than it is, but since it's entirely imaginary, it stays pretty early on this list. Vorophiles get off on the concept of being swallowed whole. Luckily, there aren't many creatures on this planet that could actually do that. Whales, maybe. There, they will be happily comforted and surrounded by the warm linings of the stomach while slowly digested alive by stomach acid.
Well, and we had one girl that we interviewed at FanFest the first year, and she had made she had a client that wanted to imagine himself in her belly. So she made little men out of bologna and then, licked it all in the
Oh, I
video
remember
and
you saying
ate it. And yeah, the whole Vor thing.
So, MPREG, Impreg, I don't know what it's called, but usually fucked up fetishes get blamed on guys and their crazy sex drives. You know what? Impreg is entirely the fault of the ladies. An evolution of gay/pairings found in fan fiction. Some squeeing fangirl somehow decided the next logical step was for one side of the lucky couple to get pregnant. Blame it on magic, mutation, aliens, or just don't bother explaining it. Somehow Snape is carrying Harry's baby, or Wolverine's belly swells with Nightcrawler's kid. The channel Morbo for a moment. Biology doesn't work that way. Good night.
When you need all that to explain a fetish, is it worth it?
I don't understand. Wait a minute.
Is it worth it?
I don't
me at last
understand.
night.
Yeah, this totally lost me because how do you have this fetish? You can't be impregnated by, something. Is it imagine that you're pregnant by it?
Do you remember what was that movie? No, not Twins. When Arnold Schwarzenegger got pregnant. What was
Twin.
Junior? That's
yeah.
it.
So wait, so the man is envisioning himself
Two
pregnant.
men. No, it's women getting off on gay shipping. I'll explain shipping. That's creating relationships between fictional characters for fan fiction.
Okay.
So gay shipping partners. So like Sherlock and Watson would be banging each other in like gay banging, and Watson would get pregnant. Like that's
Oh, that's weird.
that's male preg.
That to me, that
Tinkerbell
how's that a
and-
fetish?
No,
I don't
two
like
boys.
that.
Oh, two boys.
Two boys.
Two boys. So number 14 is a couple of them. He lumped them all together. Oh, crap it. Quicksand, pedal pumping, tickle bondage, women in distress in general. We all know what that is.
Wait, how are they defining that? Women in distress?
These fall under the general umbrella of damsels in distress, but often, this thing keeps jumping around on me, but often expressed in very specific ways. So you start with the basic concept of helpless women who may or may not need rescuing. Some people seem to enjoy the prospect of the damsels being saved. Others get off on the distress itself. The peril they're involved in with is then fetish specific. The quicksand fetish has people trapped in a hazard that never really existed outside of serial films in the 50s. Tickle bondage is women tied up and then, tickled. Pedal pumping is even weirder as it's an odd combination of foot and leg fetishism, women in distress, and cars. Good Lord, it's like someone took the whole stupid women can't drive joke and made it all about sex.
Don't you remember
But then
Ari
they
and
made money
Eliza
off of
telling
it.
us in here that they had to do a pedal?
I watched
on
a
their
video one
past?
time of a girl fucking a gear shift.
Mm.
It was crazy.
I've seen in the washing machine how they have those things that fill up. She's fucking will clean it.
In the middle of the washing machine? How did
Yeah.
she get in there?
I have no idea, but she was fucking.
Wow.
So, wet and messy / splosh. This fetish oddly seems almost completely tied to the British Isles. It's women smearing food and dirty things all over their bodies, getting custard dumped over their head, baked beans down the panties, sitting on pies, all that sort of stuff. Essentially, they take the idea of licking chocolate sauce off your loved one and, oh, that's because his mic is off. That's
Oh.
why.
Okay, we got
That's
you.
Sorry.
You're on now.
Essentially, they take the idea of licking chocolate sauce off your loved one and take it to a ludicrous extreme, sometimes called splosh, sometimes wet and messy. It always involves gloppy fluids on a lady. Gut flopping. You've actually experienced this.
Let's
Run-of-the-mill dominatrix with the obsession of a fetishization of fat that accompanies chubby chasers and feeders. The scariest thing about this fetish in particular is the potential for damage. These ladies are large, their stomachs are large, they're hitting your back with a significant amount of speed and force. You're in a position where there's not much support. Imagine someone dropping a bag of oranges on your back while you're in that position.
So they have you drop your belly?
I
on that?
haven't. Yeah, but it's not, when you lift your belly and drop, it's not, I've never had to do like a belly flop. It was more like, just the weight of my belly on them. But I never had to do like that kind of like, I'm going to break your back kind of thing.
So
Not
this
saying it
is,
might not happen.
I'm going to
but-
pronounce this slowly.
But she's open to it, just so you know, right?
Oh, I had a peer this week. We'll talk about that during the
Oh, yeah.
Salarophilia.
Ooh.
Hey, handsome, I've got a really dirty outfit to show you. The fuck? This is just a blouse smeared with mud. Welcome to the world of salarophilia, the dirtying of clean things. Smeared dirt, mud, ripped, and ill-fitting outfits. The person doesn't get hurt, they just get filthy. As in actually filthy. Hair mussed, makeup smeared, clothes torn. I suppose it makes sense as an extension of the just fucked look, ripping off clothes to get at someone, or as a kind of objectification, demeaning S&M thing. Then it goes on into even weirder territories. Apparently, it sometimes turns into people getting off on defacing pictures and statues of famous and beautiful people. Yep, nothing sexier than scrawling marker all over a poster of a movie star.
That is weird.
This is all from a website called popcrunch.com.
I can't
by the way.
imagine putting on a dirty, muddy shirt would turn me on.
Mucophilia or nasophilia.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, sorry, there's a picture on there. I can't look at it. Oh, that's gross.
Donald feel like he wants to see
I
it.
want to see it.
Oh. Donald wants to see it.
At least that's not right.
No, you gotta.
Oh, hell no.
You shouldn't have looked.
Oh.
Oh, we got a gagger.
Yeah.
She can't even watch me eat my
Can't take
eggs mixed with my hash browns.
What does it say? Yeah, she couldn't watch her eggs mixed with her hash browns and ketchup.
I don't get these ones. Fetishes and fascination with mucus and noses. What? At least the urine and feces I can abstractly understand what's going on there. I suppose they both come from extremely sexualized organs or perhaps a fetishization of a disallowed and filthy, but snot? An orifice completely non-sexual? A body fluid associated with being ill? What? Do they look at girls passing on the street and say, check out the nose on her?
Oh my God, that's nasty.
Number 9, that's only number 8, by the way. So there are apparently, or that's number 10. There are
There are more
there are
pictures.
7 more.
So number 9 is the amputation fetish.
Oh, I've heard about this one. Yeah, yeah.
This is, I'm not talking
There's-
about people affected with apotomonophilia, whatever the fuck, who suffer from a form of body integrity disorder and feel the compulsion to remove a limb. Rather, it's people who are drawn to the remains of what was once a healthy limb. Is it an evolved form of damsels in distress, getting turned on by people with disabilities who are helpless?
I don't know.
Do you know there's people who have actually had their body parts amputated?
Yeah, they say that they just feel like there's parts that just don't belong. It shouldn't
Right.
be there.
Yeah.
They feel more complete without it.
I
Yeah.
learned that on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, they had that.
Just
They used to
saying.
have that on Nip Tuck too. They had a big story about that years ago.
So masking, hold on my little
What's the
thing.
next one?
Number 8 is masking. You know what's super hot? How in Mission Impossible they pulled off the mask and it would be someone completely different. Now imagine if that guy was dressed up as a girl and the mask was less convincing version of what the Wayans brothers wore in White Girls. Welcome to the utterly batfuck crazy world of masking, where putting on a plastic mask vaguely resembling a woman is all of a sudden very, very hot. I have no issue at all with cross-dressers or traps in general. Just the moment you put on a fake face, that crosses a very distinct line. I know that some Japanese folk like to wear masks to look like anime characters, and that I can deal with as they're not meant to look normal or real. They're cartoons, right? But maskers, they try and look like real women, but are so deep in the uncanny valley they'd give the conductor of the Polar Express the heebie-jeebies. I'm sorry, gentlemen, you terrify the utter hell out of me.
Yeah. What's crazy about these fetishes is like you don't think of them as being sexual at all. You know, I mean, I can understand somebody that wants me to sit on their face or wants me to sit on them where they can, when they look in a mirror, they don't see anything but their toes and their head. I mean, men get off on that. To me, there's a sexual element to that. These, I don't see anything sexual.
I have to tell you one time, I had a this is a long time ago when BBW Club Las Vegas first started. It was one of the first event or two, and there was a guy there, and they were telling me to sit on him, and a friend and I, who was like my size, we were both sitting on him, and I had never heard of it before. I'd never known anything about, squashing. I thought they were just joking around, and now I'm like, I should ask the fucker for some money.
Yeah, you should have. Absolutely.
Like, I had no clue. I'm like,
Okay.
Sit on him? Okay.
So number 7 comes with a story that this guy found. Number 7 is called formicophilia. Quite a number of years ago, I used to amuse myself in the summer by capturing a bunch of Japanese beetle, usually 10 or 15, and dumping them into the tip of a partially unrolled condom. Then I would force my cockhead into the writhing mass of insects and roll the rest of the condom down my stiff cock. The sensation of the insects crawling all over my cockhead and down my shaft in the tight condom was incredible. I would invariably come as they scratched and bit at my cock flesh, putting an end to the adventure at least until the next day. It was especially exciting when one or more would delve into my penis slit. It has been a long time since I've even thought about this. Now I want to try it again. Have to go looking in the rose bushes next weekend.
That's nasty.
I don't think we need to go any further with that one.
How do you get it out of your slit? Pee?
Well, the slit's not very deep. I'm sure they come out.
So just real fast, Summer just asked if I was allergic to your hair, if that's why I'm having all these nose issues. I just thought it was cute, so. Anyway.
That's funny.
Okay, carry on.
Symphorophilia. Symphorophilia. You know something ain't right when your idea of a sexy movie is the Titanic, and only because you like the part where the boat sinks. Symphorophiles. Symphorophiles get off on watching accidents and disasters like earthquakes and car crashes. David Cronenberg made a movie on the topic in 1996 starring James Spader about people who could only get off by reenacting car accidents.
Oh yeah, isn't that Speed?
Okay.
Watching the World Trade Center go off and they're jacking off.
What movie was that? I know that.
I had a
movie.
friend.
No. James Spader is.
No, there was a movie though about that they could only have sex by getting.
Yeah, they didn't give me the name, but it was done in the 90s.
Now that you say this, I have a friend's husband who, and it's nobody I hang out with, so don't try guessing anyone. But he used to. They would have multiple scanners going in their house, and as soon as an accident or a fire or something came up, he would have to leave with his camera, and he would go and just take pictures of it. And when he would take his lunch, he worked in a hospital, but he used to eat his lunch right outside of the ER doors, so he can watch like the accident victims
And the
stuff
wife
come
is
in.
okay with this?
Wait, but was it sexual for him? Or was
Well,
he
now
just
I
like...
think I bet it was.
Yeah.
I bet it was because they would even call it when they were getting ready to have sex. She
So he
would
was a
call it like
sociopath?
turn on the
Turn on the scanner.
scanner. They're going to turn on the scanner. That's what they would call it.
Wow.
So number 5 is one that I actually know about because I've never actually
furries?
partaken in it, but I have read a lot about it because it sometimes intermingles with the world of furries. This is called
I'm fascinated by furries, man.
Me too.
plushies.
Plushies, yeah.
You know what a plushie is? They take stuffed animals and add vaginas to them. So so they can fuck them. That's
no,
right.
the poor stuffed animals.
They have sex with stuffed animals.
Right, you take
Is
it
there a
easily.
picture?
How do you add a vagina to it? Of a JJ? You do add an opening and fuck it.
I'll send you guys some more pictures. You can find them mostly on Bad Dragon.
You
and
know
stuff
what?
Like
But
that.
then when you come in it, don't you gotta fucking wash it?
Usually there's an insert that you take out.
Oh.
I was just thinking like maybe you just cut out the whole bottom of the stuffed animal and just throw a flashlight in there.
That's what some guys are doing. Yeah.
Oh, look at you! You're already thinking
So
about
does
how
the
to, how
Venture
to do
Bunny
it.
have a vagina?
But
How
if
many
it,
stuffed
but,
animals are in your bed?
but if it's the soft, flushy, the soft, what is it? What are they called? Fluffers or what are they called?
Plushies.
Plushies. If it's that plush feeling, then putting a fleshlight in there wouldn't solve their
No,
problem.
this is mostly about adding vaginas to things. Hibistrophilia. Take the widespread womanly love of bad boys to its unnatural extreme and you get hibistrophilia, the arousal of people causing violent crime, commonly known as Bonnie and Clyde syndrome. It's the reason mass murderers get letters in the joint and groupies
Yeah.
to shag them on conjugal visits. You know what? It's actually kind of common, at least on the fantasy level. You think Heath Ledger was darkly sexy as the Joker? Gary Oldman in Lennon, Johnny Depp in Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Ooh, what a great movie. Guess what? You are the low-level hibistrophile, which isn't so bad until you spring a serial killer from jail and proceed to go at it like weasels in heat while carving a bloody path down the country trying to get to Mexico. Pyrophilia. This is number 3 on the list.
Is that fire?
Pyrophilia. There are 2 types of pyromaniacs. Those who get a rush from the flames and those that get off on it. Can you guess which type falls on this list? People who suffer this disease get sexual gratification from starting fires. Going camping with these guys would be just like the freakiest thing imaginable. Hey, Bob, why are you looking at the fire that way? Or bringing a date home for a romantic cuddle in front of a log fire before rapidly de-evolving into humping a burning log.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine trying to explain the burn marks to your doctor? She was so sexy and the sparks and licks of flame, I just couldn't help myself.
Did you, this is separate from that, but it just made me think of it. Did you guys read about the guy who was, he like burned himself on a Hot Pocket?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
He was like fucking a Hot Pocket.
He was fucking a Hot Pocket?
Yeah.
Look, I leave a Hot Pocket in the microwave for 5 minutes after, and that shit's still burning in my
Right?
fucking mouth.
Exactly.
Wait, and he just...
But he burned it.
And we all wonder why cancer in our generation is so more prevalent now.
Yeah,
Anyway.
people are fucking Hot Pockets.
Is it because they're eating Hot Pockets or they're fucking Hot
Again,
Pockets?
it's because of all the shit we cook in the microwave. I'm just saying.
It's
Just my
the
take on
aluminum
it.
in our pans. Number 2, zoo sadism. Bestiality is wrong. That's pretty screwed up. But combine that with people who enjoy inflicting pain and you get a special kind of heinous. Zoo sadism, deriving pleasure from torturing animals.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna stab a motherfucker.
We're not even going to go. And you know what picture he used for this? A tiny little kitty.
Oh,
Of course I
Tiny little
did.
kitty.
Let me tell you, anyone fucks with my cat, I'm gonna go all fucking Jeffrey Dahmer on their ass.
Oh, this is one that we actually did a bit on a few years ago. Autoassasinophilia or erotophonophilia.
Huh?
This is so that what in the world could possibly be worse than what we have covered above? Only a fetish with a very real possibility of someone dying in the act. Autoassassinophilias philes are turned on by the chance that they might die during sex.
I saw that on
Erotophonophiles get off on murder. A perfect combination? No, this isn't just like enjoying getting choked while in bed. This is real, actual physical threat
this
of
is
their
the
own
following.
demise.
This is Joe Carroll. He, the one about getting off on murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the flip side, the serial killerish sexual arousal from the murders of others. These people are serious danger to themselves and others. Yeah, that's totally hot. So, there was a few years ago a guy, he and his girlfriend used to do gunplay. He would hold a gun to her head while he fucked her and pull the trigger, but it was usually empty. But apparently somebody loaded the gun and he blew her head off while he was fucking her.
Oh my God.
And it went into court and everything. And I think he got, because there was some sort of record that this was something that they did, and it wasn't him that loaded the gun. It wasn't her that loaded the gun. It was somebody else who knew that eventually.
The guy who's trying to say he thought, who's the runner guy right now?
Who's the who?
Oh, the Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade
Yeah.
Runner, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I
Yours.
believe. I don't know if I believe that he's innocent. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if
think he
he's
is.
innocent. You think he's innocent?
No.
Oh, you think he's guilty?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
He admits that he shot her. He just thought she was a robber.
And from what I understand, in that neighborhood, robbers are very, very prevalent.
Yeah.
But they also like fight all the time, and I don't know.
I don't know. You know, and you know what? I've tried to watch a lot of it because I'm the court junkie in the room, and I can't because of the way the court is over there in South Africa.
They allow you to film some things, but not all things.
Right, and you could hear him talking, but you can't see him talking. And it's all in the very thick accent.
You know what drives me insane is they are beating this guy up. That's the one thing I don't really like. The prosecution is not just doing their job trying to prosecute him. They are doing everything in their possible way to emotionally beat this guy down. At some point, they had to stop doing what the prosecution was doing because Peter Pistoria or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he was.
He was throwing up.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he
was throwing up.
They were forcing him to look. They were telling him he could not look away from the
photos.
The photos, and he started throwing up, and they had to stop the whatever. My thing is his emotional reaction to these things, what's going on, everything. I don't think he can fake that. I think what we may be missing here is there may have been drugs involved. He may have been stoned out of his fucking gourd when it happened.
They tested him, though. They've done drug tests. There's no...
But he's a professional athlete and knows how to get around drug tests. I tell you that right now.
I used to work in a smoke shop, and it's pretty easy to get around a drug test.
Yeah.
Well, but not when the police walk in and you just shot somebody. I mean,
Did they test them?
Not right away. They did not. It's not like they walked in and tested him right away. They had it took a couple of hours. It was entirely plausible for him to.
I think it was seriously.
It was a fucked up situation.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I always try to look at the good, so I want to think like, no, he didn't do it, yeah, something, but I don't know. Are we going to take a break before we do catch-ups, or are we going right into catch-up? What's your plan, Mama?
Let's just go right into catch-ups. We haven't been following any sort of plan tonight. So.
Donald, you're free to stay with us till 10, or if you have to leave,
he's got to be up and...
No, I don't think so.
Okay, perfect.
Well, I have a question for you since you used to work in a smoke shop. So someone who doesn't smoke on a regular basis, maybe like a casual, just out, how long does that stay in your system?
At least a month or 2 months.
Even if it's just like 2-3 hits?
Yeah.
Really?
Like most other drugs, like I'm not saying you do it, if you dabble in like coke or meth, they'll stay in your system for 3 days.
Somebody messed with your mic. Hold on.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
And marijuana.
Marijuana stays in the list.
I turned it off.
I thought I turned it back on. Oh. Should I ask that again?
No.
Okay.
It's all right.
So that's interesting because I was thinking, if someone doesn't do it very often and they just take a hit here and there.
Well, marijuana is one of those ones. It doesn't matter how often you do it or how well you do it. The levels are always going to be the same, right?
Well,
2 or 3 hits is the same as smoking a whole blunt by yourself.
Yeah. If you're getting tested by, like federally, if you're around it, it can come up just a little bit. Like it's like 0.001.
So then you can usually tell on a screening then. Well,
like,
she smoked it or she was just in a room around it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll tell you what you do. You go to the head shop and you buy Asian urine, and you you put that shit in the microwave and warm it up and put it in your titties, and then you go in there when you take your drugs test and you put the air.
The Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City does not condone faking a drug test. We are no longer going to tell you how to get around a drug test.
Yes,
I've done it twice and it worked.
I worked for a company where I had to drug test people, and I literally had to go put the gloves on and hand them the cup to pee in, and then they walk out. And of course, like the girls, the cup was nice and clean, and the guy, like, it's still dripping piss. And I'm like,
but you didn't watch him piss. You didn't watch him piss.
No. But so they go in. However, it has a temperature gauge on it.
I know.
It has to be between like a very certain temperature.
And when you buy the Asian urine, there's a temperature gauge on the package. So you at home, you start it and you get the temperature to a certain temperature, and then men put it in their pants.
We cannot talk about this anymore.
They sell it right up the street.
I don't care. We can't talk about it.
Yes, we can. It's sold in the store.
We can't talk about telling people how to cheat a drug test.
I'll just walk talking to a head shop. We're not telling them anything secret.
So anyway, it was gross because I'd always have to touch their pee cups. So, but it tells you right on there the temperature and all the different tests like come up right on the cup. So, I mean, and I had some people try and get around it with different things, which I will not say what they were.
Please don't.
You walk up into the head shop and ask them for Asian urine.
However,
you just always have to have the last word.
Because we're not talking about anything that isn't sold on Main. You know what? Fuck this. Fuck this.
Ooh. Look, I'm just saying, I don't want.
Who made you fucking boss? You come in here going, we're not going to do this, and we're no more having 2 guests, and you don't even want to discuss it, and then you won't even talk about something that's perfectly legal?
It's not legal to cheat a drug test.
It is perfectly legal for them to sell that, and for me to tell you how it comes. Turn the fucking radio off.
Look, fine. We will not tell you how to pass a drug test illegally. I'm fine with you talking about whatever you do recreationally, but it is illegal to use fake urine in a drug test. Federally, state, county, otherwise. We won't tell you how to do shit that is illegal around here.
Well, now I'm sorry I brought it up.
so Donald.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So you want to whip it out now?
I'm not surprised about
Anyway,
that question.
it'd be the perfect segue into showing penises. I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, if ever there was a good time to show your penis, it would be now.
It's probably the next time I'm here, next time in Vegas.
Okay. Although I could see it on
Yeah,
Twitter.
you can see on Twitter. I mean, everyone posts pictures of it, especially when I'm sleeping. Yeah, I
You
got.
take sleeping penis pictures?
There's
I think
one
they're taking
picture.
for him, right?
Yeah, everyone takes pictures. I guess the new thing is people taking pictures of me sleeping. This last time when I was in Vegas, I had like half my arm down in my pants, sleeping. And I thought someone was going to steal my dick. I just had like a really funny face on, see my arm in my pants, and someone posted it on Twitter. I'm just like, oh great, I have a picture of my fucking arm in my pants sleeping.
Like the Al Bundy.
No, it was more El Bundy. It was like half the arm.
Like totally massaging your penis in
Yeah.
this? Why don't we all shift down a little?
Oh god, no more tickling my balls.
Because you have ticklish balls, right?
Yes.
That works. Here, you can take that mic. No, you don't have to bring the mic with you. We got plenty of extras.
Okay.
Pass that. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
There. That makes sense.
I get 2 mics. Two of them at the same time.
Like you're double fisting the mic.
Right?
No, that's bad. I'm not gonna do that.
maybe Glitch should then show him how to do it.
Professional?
Gentlemen, if you're single, please look right now. Watch right now.
Hey,
See what our own Glitch can do.
Why are you always putting lip gloss on in the show?
I have a lip chapstick fetish.
Addiction?
She likes to make out with
Addiction,
people,
yeah.
so it just comes off. And then
She's
she
got to
puts it
be
back
ready.
on.
I was
Never.
wondering, but when you kissed me last night, why it was all like tingly.
That would be
Is this
it.
your like secret weapon? So do you like
Okay.
slop this on and then like give Mr. Toxie like?
I didn't, but now
blowjob?
I'm going to. Thank you.
Like
Have
the
you-
whole menthol thing.
Has
That'd be a
anyone done a
surprise.
pop rock blowjob?
No.
I heard about those, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Having the rocks grinding your cock, it just
Well,
doesn't
maybe the
sound
guy
good
with
at
the
all.
Well,
insects
from what
would
I
like that.
understand, you're supposed to put them like in the sides of your mouth and back towards the back of your mouth, so that all he doesn't feel the rocks on his
He just feels
cock.
the popping.
He just feels the popping, right?
I don't know.
I want to try it. Cali guy, can I try that? He won't. He won't say
Do you
no.
have pop rocks at home?
No, but I can pick some up on my way. 7-Eleven's just down the street.
You might want
Right?
to. I'm gonna go home and gloss up.
I need to stop and get some goddamn allergy sinus stuff. I don't know.
That's sexy. We're talking about blowjobs, and you're back to your snot fetish.
Well, it's all one side. Just this side right here.
I can't get that that image off your phone out of my mind now.
Look, listen. Can you hear it?
No, I
Well,
don't
before
think-
you know it, we're gonna have a whole nother fetish happening while Kelly Toxie vomits in the corner.
A little
And then it's
vomit
Gross.
like dripping in the
little
back of my
vomit
throat.
play.
It's like dripping in the back of my throat.
Ugh.
Allergies or sinus?
That's allergies. It's allergies affecting your sinus.
Might as well just get some water sports down here too, since we're talking about snot and vomit. I mean,
Sure,
shit.
do we have someone? Can someone come in and film for us?
So you guys are the moms. So what do I buy at the store? Sinus or allergy medicine?
I would get
Sinus?
allergy
I
medicine.
would do
Oh,
allergy
Yeah,
as well.
allergy.
Yeah, I would start with allergy, and if it doesn't clear it up, then get a sinus tap.
And also, I use saline spray.
Uh-huh.
You could do a neti pot to help clear out
But-
some of the blocked up stuff,
But
the
don't
sinus spray
use.
helps.
I watched that episode of House. Don't use tap water in your neti pot. Go get
Oh!
distilled water.
I
Smart
saw that
water.
one too.
Why?
Yeah.
Look at
It was like the. Was it like the?
It was some sort of
something in there.
single-celled amoeba that got into his brain and
Yeah.
started eating his brain away. So use distilled
would
water
happen
in
to
your
me.
neti pot. Yeah.
But I just buy this single. You can find it in adults, but I would just get the baby stuff. You know, even though mine's older, I still use it, and it's little spray.
Clears it right
Look at
out.
this right, and just this gland was swollen. I don't like it.
Well,
That sounds
to
like
fix
sinus.
that
It's like an
gland,
allergy
what you need to
reaction.
do-
And
I'm
then
just
here.
kidding, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's just one side, it sounds like an allergic reaction rather than a.
Allergy.
Well, that's what an allergy is.
I
Whatever.
just
Okay, moving on.
realized I forgot to record Mad Men.
Uh-oh.
That's back
Bummer.
tonight.
Yeah,
know.
but it's on AMC. You can get it on demand.
On demand.
I'm pissed that I have to wait for Walking Dead to come back on.
Right?
I love that
Shit.
shit.
I love the way they ended it, though. I am so
I thought it
ready.
was kind of fucking cheesy.
A lot of people
Here,
thought.
learn to mess with us.
A lot of
Did you
people thought it
watch
was boring.
Talking Dead after that?
No.
Did you watch The Talking Dead after that?
No.
That wasn't the original line. It was some other line. But because the guy who plays Rick, he really felt that Rick was coming back into what he was at the beginning, this no-holds-barred, kick-ass, kill people, do what I need to do. But being in the prison had tamed him down so much. And he, remember
No,
in
I get it.
last
But that's also the
season-
direct line from the comic book too.
Yes.
From the that they put in the show. But I agree with you. I think this whole last season has been really boring.
Slow and
Yes.
boring.
Well, it was building up. I think this season was building up to, I think, what's going to be an explosive
Of the
season.
next season.
Like
yeah.
last season was the whole
Governor
war and governor, and it was insane. This season was giving everybody the backstories that we wanted. It was setting us up for, I think, a giant season.
I
next
think this
season.
Malachi guy is gonna make the governor look like a fucking angel.
Yeah, I think so too.
I also
although
think
I
they're
think-
eating Beth right now.
You
I'm
think
just
they're
saying.
eating Beth?
I'm just saying.
I
That's
hope
just my
they're.
take. Dumb broad.
You want cannibals on top of zombies? You want to add cannibals?
Well, I mean, they went there in that last episode when Rick had to like bite the guy's, throat.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like that was the thin line, like between the living and the dead. That was the comparison. You do survival of the fittest,
Yeah, he totally went zombie on that guy.
self-preservation.
Well, preservation of his kid at that point.
Right. Well, that yeah.
Yeah, and then, everybody was debating whether the, child rapist deserved it. Oh no, he deserved
He
every
deserved-
last
yeah.
stab he got.
I just couldn't believe the other guys were gonna let that happen.
They
That was
were
just odd.
all, yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
I'm
I'm a
glad
big
they're all
zombie.
dead.
Zombies are kind of my thing.
zombies and bad boys.
So I want to dress up as and be in total zombie, and I know how to do okay latex zombie makeup, and be in the whole role and fuck as zombies. I think that would be hot.
That would be awesome. I told you
A little bit of biting, but not just nibbling.
Yeah.
Just not.
nothing too
No
hard.
broken
Just learn a
flesh.
whole bunch of things, and I want to do furries too.
I want to dress up as a bear.
Would a bear do a cat?
Oh, I thought of you. Listen, I
I'm
thought
gonna
of
be
you.
glitter kitty.
There is this. I'm going to find it online. There is this little kid thing that it's in a backpack, but then they have it in adult sizes too. So I'm like, I need this for you, and it's all in a backpack, and you unroll it and slide it on, and then you're in a bear costume or a kitty costume or a little puppy costume. It's meant for kids, but it's adult sizes too. So you dress up like. I'm
Just
gonna find it.
Bam. But I was noticing last week, and then I forgot to mention it. The sticker on your laptop is kind of like a glitter
Is
kitty
that
too.
is that glitter kitty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, if I had to envision
gonna
glitter
do that
kitty,
because
that's
it'll
what
be
I would
fun, yeah.
envision right there.
Yeah.
Do a little furry play.
Actually, when I envision
Oh my
when I
God.
envision glitter kitty,
Don't start, because
you know,
I might whip it out.
you know Aristocats? You know
Yeah.
the little tiny white kitty with the little pink bow in her hair, and she's very. Girls don't start fights, but they sure do end them. That's glitter kitty for me.
Yeah, bitches. I had my shank last night at the club. My
Oh my
Did
God.
you? Were you shanking
Remember
people?
that for the show? Were you sitting at the table when we were doing that? That was in the candy apple for Bree's Aunt Winnie's Confections or whatever. And I hope I said that right. If not,
Yeah, or whatever.
whatever. Sorry,
Text us, Bree. Let us know if she got that right.
Thanks.
So
I'm
the
sure Brie
stick
appreciates
thing,
the shout out now.
and it was our joke. I'm like, this is my bedazzled shank.
Shank, shank.
So
of course, we named all the apples. We know what the
talk
apples
about
are named.
bedazzled. Summer's like, so what would you do if I bedazzled my vagina? Because you guys talk about the last
Summer,
time.
let me do it. I'm gonna
Please don't bedazzle your vagina.
bedazzle
She wants to
someone's
bedazzle
vagina.
her vag.
Yeah.
So bad.
Vajazzling.
But I gotta
Bedazzle. What did I say, bedazzle?
I gotta do Sierra's first. I promised.
Yes, she did.
Bedazzle it. Mm-hmm.
Diamond vaginas.
Shine bright like a diamond.
It's the whole definition of glitter kitty.
Yeah. I call my vagina. Vagina. My vagina.
Your vagina.
I don't know what the hell. My vagina.
Rather than a vagina, it's a vagina.
Maybe I should just call my vagina Jaina. I call my vagina Diamond.
It's a nice little name for your vagina.
Shining bright like a diamond. Anyway.
Maybe Diamond should meet the cervix puncher.
Maybe.
That is what I was gonna tweet that too. I started to and didn't finish.
I'll be out of commission though for a couple
Cervix
days.
puncher?
Let me get some vacation days because I'm sure I'll be like,
I actually put someone out of commission for 3 weeks, and she had to go to the hospital for 3 days.
what?
What?
Yeah.
Why are you fucking girls into the ER?
I don't know what happened.
Are you on that new show, My Sex Got Me Into the ER, whatever it is?
What show is this?
I know.
Oh,
You should
yeah.
be like,
There's
Like
a-
the woman
It's
had,
on like National Geographic or something.
I just saw one about a woman, like her orgasms just would not stop, and she'd have what, like 50 a day.
It was-
She
Is
couldn't
it called
even
like Weird
function.
Sex?
No. It's like sex got me into the sex landed me into the ER or something like that. We watched a little bit of it the other night. It was a very big girl who was a nurse at a hospital, and she was having sex in a pool, and she got her foot caught in the trap of the pool, and I think she broke it, and she had to try to. She was trying to explain to her fellow nurses because she had to go to the hospital she worked at, and so she's trying not to tell them that she broke her foot while having sex in the pool, but eventually that's what she had to tell
I
them.
fell off the bed once and smacked my head and it was bleeding.
Ow.
This one was fucking my roommate, but one time I had her legs up and we drank wine all the time, and she had a really full glass of this metal goblet of wine. I lifted her leg up so far up it hit the wine, spilled all over her, hit her head, busted her head open, and we just kept going. I thought I'd be done, but
You liked the blood, didn't you?
it was kind of hot actually.
Mm-hmm.
You creepy fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how kinky someone is till they're kinky in front of you.
It's not even the start of it. I'm a freak.
Freak.
So let's do some catch-ups. What about you, Weepy?
Well, now I'm like sitting here thinking I have no good catch-ups now. I have nothing good.
Nothing good at all. Who did you make out with at the club? Do you remember all of them?
Who didn't I make out with?
Is that a
Did she make
shorter
out
list?
with you?
No, I think she made out with Summer.
I did make out with.
And then like Summer told me every time they made out, I just look away. But
I'm sorry I grossed you out.
no, it wasn't that.
My
I just seen what else
apologies.
is going on.
Whoa, wait. Well, anyway, I'm gonna let that
Give
go.
you some privacy.
Well,
Get
anyway, so now I've been called out on the radio for being a shitty kisser
Uh-oh.
and grossing people out.
You went around
I was
reminded
grossed
me
out.
and told everyone last night, Glitz says I'm a shitty kisser, blah, blah, blah. And I said, let me clarify. I did not say you were a horrible kisser. I said that you were a little intoxicated and you kept hitting my teeth.
Oh,
You're a teeth
ouch.
chipper.
Yes, apparently.
That hurts.
And I said we would try again when you were sober. And you're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. When
Yeah,
I'm sober.
here's the thing. When I'm sober, like, I do not walk around kissing people. I just don't.
Maybe you should.
But I probably should. But apparently now when I'm drunk, it's my thing. And even though I'm always like pretty set, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then 2 seconds later, I'm
Yeah, you even text me yesterday and said, "Are you coming out tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And you said, "Okay, it is my goal not to make out with anyone tonight in the club."
I was doing so well for so long.
A week?
Wait a minute, switch sides now.
It switched sides.
Switching
Did
sides.
Yeah, you don't want me drunk because I'll end up falling asleep on you. I've done that actually 2 days ago. Summer was blowing me and I was like, I had a whole bottle of wine plus like a half thing of Jack Daniels. She's blowing me and I ended up like passing out, and then 20 minutes later I ended up waking up. I was like, why'd you stop? Passing out.
That's when you know you've had too much sex, that you can fall asleep while someone's blowing you because the sensation
Yeah.
has probably left your cock. I would say it like that. Cock.
You know, honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't like fallen off yet.
From sheer overuse.
Yeah, a lot of
You
overuse.
need to go home and give it a rest. I'm just saying. After you bang it out a couple times tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm leaving at 6:30, so I gotta do
Oh my gosh.
a lot of banging to do.
So you really have to get home and put it in. I mean, put
Like
it in.
literally get everything I can in.
So
Poor
no,
Summer's vagina.
no more catch-ups for you?
I really don't have. No.
Sex?
Maybe I'll think. Yeah.
Yeah. Regularly.
I didn't last night, and so Mr. Toxie was kind of grumpy today.
Are you gonna go home and fuck him tonight?
Well, sure, it's Sunday.
If he's grumpy, you should blow him. It'll make him happy.
You know the way
You're
you hear
welcome.
Mr.
That'll
Toxie
do.
tell that they never have sex.
Yeah, no, he acts like he is deprived. He is so. Oh, I will tell you a little something that did happen last night, actually. So Mr. Toxie got a little upset at me, and now I'm always when we go out, I'm always all over the place, always, and so I'm always talking to people. I've been a friendly lap dancer for quite some time now, and it's nothing new, but all of a sudden last night he said that he went to kiss me and I turned away, and so he got very upset by it, but he also said you basically ignored me all night.
Oh,
And he was
man.
very,
you
very
broke his
sad
little
about
Mr.
it.
Toxie
He
heart.
did, but the thing is, it was nothing different, and actually I was by him for a good majority of the night.
Mhm.
So I think he was just
You're gonna have to make up for that. Some
I'm
extra
going to have
ball
to make up
cupping.
for it, but I think maybe
Mr.
he was
Toxie,
a
you
little
come hang out with
sensitive.
me.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, Mr. Toxie. We'll Facebook on our phones
Diamond's
together
a
in the
little
corner.
hungry.
But yeah, I didn't realize I had done it, but apparently I did, and it hurt his little heart.
Oh,
Aw.
you
I'm a
cold-hearted bitch.
Cold-hearted state.
I'm horrible. Worst wife ever.
Nah,
I don't cook.
you don't
I
clean.
don't clean. I can't sew I can't even thread a motherfucking needle.
But you can suck cock.
There you go.
That's all that
That's all
matters.
That's all. You know, that's always a plus.
I got a
If you
story
can,
about that in my catch-up. Sorry.
if you can suck a cock, you're a keeper.
That's it.
Because I had some bad cocksuckers in my day, and it's really not that pretty.
Well, but the thing is, I think yours would be a little bit more of a challenge, just based on sheer size,
Girls got to get a friend to help with that.
right?
I don't think my mouth stretches.
I
You
have-
need an extra, like, 2 hands, like even to.
Yeah, you can two-hand it.
I
I've had I,
I can't even do
usually
it.
don't
I
put
can't even do
my
it.
fist in my mouth like that.
I had someone who couldn't even put it in their mouth. I was like, this isn't gonna work
Just
out.
lick
You
the
have to
tip.
go.
Lick it like a lollipop. No?
Like
No,
almost
because I'll just
like
start
you're
laughing.
like-
I'll just start giggling. You can't lick me.
So you said your ketchup involves cocksucking?
Yeah, well, I had company last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
LA flew in.
So, yes, and he actually stayed Monday night too.
Mm.
So I left the show on Sunday, and yeah, like I could barely keep my hands off of him in the car ride home. So
Mm.
got
Roadhead?
home, handle business,
Yeah,
not-
did you have some roadhead?
No. We
Road
didn't do
hand?
that. No.
No handy J.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it was nice. So I got it in a bunch of times, Sunday night and Monday morning before I left for work, and then Monday night again. So this is what I did. So it was the final college basketball game Monday night. So he had to stay over. He was doing the work thing, for the transfer or whatever the hell it is. So he's like, "Oh, I want to watch the game tonight at the house. I don't want to go out. We'll get some canes. We'll just hang out." And I'm like, I'm gonna cook. I was trying to seal the deal here, He's like, "All right."
I think at that point the deal was sealed.
Yeah.
Well, it gets better. So I go home and I make these country ribs, I'm whipping it up in the kitchen and stuff. So it's halftime and I had this planned in my head. I'm like, all right, keyword head. So it's halftime. I hear it go off. He's just sitting on the couch, he's scrolling through his tablet, whatever, watching the halftime show. And I just walk into the living room, get down on my knees.
Flop his cock out and start sucking it?
Just gave him a blowjob. He was like, what's going on? I'm like, this is your halftime entertainment.
And that's how you get married.
And he was like,
That's how you get married. I mean, if you're gonna start blowing me while in fucking halftime show, and I mean, I'll put a ring on your finger like
and
just
it
like
was
that.
perfect fucking timing. Like, he came, I got up, and by the way, I did swallow. I even said I don't swallow. Maybe that's why I've
Spares a quitters.
Oh, see what happened? Now you're stuck. You're
That's
snotted. You're stuck. That's why.
I kind of do this
Public
little,
service announcement. This is what happens when you swallow.
kind of do this little, wipey thing with my mouth. Go in the kitchen, wash my hands, and he's just looking at me
Wait,
like.
did you at least brush your teeth, or were you walking around with the sperm floating around, or what?
So washing my hands first. I had to check the rib things. So, and he's just like baffled, like sitting on the couch with his pants still down around his fucking ankles. And I'm like, what? He's like, what about you? I'm like, don't worry about it, boo. You'll get me later.
Yeah, I would have been stunned. I
Huh?
would have been stunned if that happened. I'm like, wow. I
And
would love
then
that.
45 minutes later, I put this big old heaping amount of food on a TV tray as he finishes watching, the game and that, or the whatever show. He's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
how you get married,
Yeah,
girl.
that's how.
That's how you get a ring on it.
But okay, in all fairness,
And then once you get the ring on it, then you don't gotta fucking swallow anymore. I'm just
I've barely
saying.
heard from him since he's been home. I mean, he'll contact me here and there, and I don't understand how men are so hot and cold.
Well, he's trying to transfer out here, right?
Mhm.
So he may be
Yeah, I
really
don't think
busy.
That's so much for me though. I think that's for his own little agenda.
Well,
But anyway, here's that lock down that crazy girl.
well, lock down that crazy girl. Lock her down tight. Put her away. Throw away the key.
But it is what it is. So anyway, that was fun.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, not having sex for so long and then getting it, a bunch of it in like that 2.5 day period, fucking horny as hell this week. Masturbated like 10 times this week, and I never did. That. I never
Wow.
masturbate. Today, twice.
Jesus.
Wait,
Is he touching you?
Well, help
That's
that.
awesome.
I'm like, ooh, I just got excited. So.
That's fabulous.
And then what else this week? Oh, I got great news. Saw my doctor this week, and well, I had some
Medical problems.
setbacks. The latter part of last year, I got a clean bill of health and moving forward, and
Yeah,
That's
excited
awesome.
about that.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah,
that's
she
good.
gave me some of my favorite pills back.
And which are they?
Um,
Wait, no, never mind. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
They're legally prescribed.
Forget
I'm
I said
okay with the
anything.
legally
they're
prescribed
legally
stuff.
prescribed. Well,
So she doesn't have to fake a drug test.
this actually may be a controversial topic, but I'll bring it up anyway. When I got sick, I put on a lot of weight,
Mhm.
more weight, probably about 50 pounds since September. So the doctor, and I had lost a bunch of weight before. Long story short, I'm getting to the point. She prescribed me some phentermine again to help get off the weight that I put on. But it's very temporary. It's only for 3 months. It's helped to get me through the cravings. I'm not planning on being, like 100 pounds or anything. I just need to get off the 50 pounds that I put on. So anyway,
We're okay with getting healthy any way you can.
Yeah.
but a lot of people will say the phentermine is very controversial.
Yeah, I understand the whole fen thing and all that other crap, but my opinion is these drugs, they're only bad when they're abused.
Yeah,
If
mhm.
you're under the care of a doctor, you're getting seen regularly, you know what side effects to look for. Like my son's on a highly addictive narcotic right now, but it's a low dose. It's prescribed by his doctor. He's being seen regularly, and it's working. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So it's controversial, but if you're doing it the right way, it's not a bad thing.
Everyone makes decisions in their life, and this is the way I approached it, because a lot of my friends and my family members were very, they didn't like it when I did it the first time, but this is what I said to them. I said, listen, we all have pros and cons of things that we do, and we outweigh the good and the bad, and right now my risk with what's going on with my health because of the weight that I put back on, that's more of an issue than me taking phentermine once a day, because I know what's going to happen. I know there's going to be a shift, yada, yada, yada. I mean, a lot of people make decisions about, I'm going to open a whole can of worms, weight loss surgery, and that's not always a positive thing either.
No, it's not.
It's everyone's personal choice. But so anyway, getting back to what I wanted to say. So I had to take the pill for the first time on Thursday, and holy shit, because I haven't taken it in like a year. I was fucking flying at work. I'm like, my boss, what else you got? What do you need me to do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like,
but get the crack out of your Wheaties.
yeah, it'll take a couple. I'm used to it now because I've been taking it since Thursday. But holy shit, I felt like the pig on the Geico commercials when he's like, wee. So, yeah.
I had my doctor had prescribed it for me a couple years back, maybe about 2 years ago, and it was, I think I'm assuming I reacted different just because I did have the weight loss surgery many moons ago, and so I'm just assuming maybe I absorbed different and it worked a bit different for me. But I had that where I was like like all jittery, and then by 1 o'clock I was famished. Like I wasn't even hungry at all. And once 1 o'clock hit, I could eat like a fucking horse. I could eat anything and everything under the sun. It was like doing the opposite because it wasn't suppressing my appetite.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but only for
a period of time.
a period. And then after that, I was like, I could eat a baby if you stuck a baby by my face right now.
To clarify, I'm not expecting this pill to be anything by means of miracle drug. I am doing other steps with it. I am doing Weight Watchers, and I am working out at the gym 5 days, 6 days a week, hour and a half at a time. So I'm not expecting this to be the only, solution. So with that said, following Weight Watchers, I have to eat even if I'm not hungry.
Mhm.
I have to have, the breakfast, the snack, the lunch, the snack, the dinner, the snack. So, but I understand that because yesterday, I was on the go all day and I took it and I didn't follow that regimen and I was like that. Last night at like 4 o'clock in the morning when I got home from the club, I was like, oh my God, let me eat everything in my fridge.
Yeah, and it was doing the opposite thing. And then I can only eat so much. So then just because of even though it's years later, I still have a little, restriction. And so I just, even when I was full, I'm like, I'm still hungry. What am I gonna do? It was like I was
That
a
surprises
meth
me
addict.
because phentermine also controls your was it your serotonin?
Mhm.
Serotonin in your brain that tells you that you're not hungry. So that surprises me.
It did. That's why I said I didn't think it was maybe meant for me or how I am, because I was
Everyone
really having the
reacts
opposite effect.
Yeah,
But
everyone reacts
it was
differently.
great up until literally 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then
You were
that
just
was
a
it.
baby eating cannibal.
That's it.
We'll put you on the
That's
Walking
it.
Dead.
My
No,
roommate,
we're gonna put you on Hannibal.
my roommate ended up getting the lap band done. It was her and her best friend. They decided to get it done for like a birthday gift. So she ended up going down to Mexico to get it done, which was already a bad idea. And they go out, they go get drinks, and the next day when they have the surgery, they go in, have x-rays done. My roommate gets an x-ray done, but the other girl doesn't. Well, she goes in for her surgery. She's in for 20 minutes because it's quick slit in, out. Her friend, her surgery took 8 hours because they ended up hitting a hernia, trying to stop the bleeding for 8 hours, and then they ended up giving her a blood transfusion and then waking her up right after. Well, here in the United States, after you have a blood transfusion, you have to be put to sleep for 24 to 48 hours. Well, they only woke her up after 8. She ended up having a heart attack. She ended up dying in Mexico. It took them 3 days to get the body back, and all her organs were gone. So now after she got her lap band done, she's miserable. Like she can only eat like certain things, little amounts. Things get stuck down her esophagus, and they have to come up. So, she's happier, but she had to be really miserable for her to lose her weight. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Do I want to be happy or do I want to be, miserable?
Or do you just want to give it all up and say, I'm fine with the way I am?
Right.
Yeah.
My friend's sister had it when I had my surgery. There were 5 of us. We all worked together that literally had it like around the same time. At one point, we were all out. And so my friend's sister had it as well, and she died. She died. She had a little, that
Blood
little
clot.
boy's just a little bit older than my child, but her baby grew up without her because she just died right there.
There's risks in everything you do, and you've
Yeah.
got to weigh
Absolutely.
the pros and the cons. I had my gallbladder surgery. It's a year ago this month. Had my gallbladder removed, and they told me, look, from everything that we've seen, there may be complications. If it's adhered to your liver, we'll have to remove it from that. That could cause liver damage, blah, 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 blah. I knew what I was going into. And then my surgery ended up being longer. There ended up being complications. And I saw the pictures of my disgusting gallbladder and what it looked like afterwards. It was terrible. But you have to weigh those options. You have to weigh those risks. Is this something I'm willing to risk my life for? Because that's what you have to. Every time you go under the knife, you risk dying. Period. Even
Well,
if it's even if it's just a very simple. Mine was laparoscopic. Even if it's a very simple laparoscopic surgery that people do all the time, there is still the risk of death.
yeah,
with it.
like there was just some little girl who just got her tonsils removed and she ended up
Oh,
getting
I
some
heard that.
infection or something and she died.
Yeah.
She's she's not dead.
Oh,
She's
in a
in a
coma.
coma.
Oh, she's a coma.
Because
Yeah.
there's the big fight over her family doesn't want her. The hospitals are saying she's she's legally
Brain dead.
She's
Uh-huh.
brain dead. She's dead, and her family doesn't want her
Oh.
taken off. So I think they did it even through a Kickstarter campaign, or not Kickstarter, one of those
Mm-hmm.
type campaigns where
Startups,
they
like
got
something like that.
exactly they got all this money and moved her to a hospital that would continue to care for her, and then the hospital wasn't going to release her because they didn't want to have the liability of her dying during transport. I mean, it's a whole big mess.
It's
As a parent,
unfortunate.
I would
That's
never
I
That's-
wouldn't
want to
either.
have to
If
make
it
that decision
well,
or be there or
I know the answer to that. I'm a very staunch believer in if a person who has had all of the physical, medical, professional training to tell me that someone is dead, then they're probably right.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and there is 0 cases of people who have been declared legally brain dead of people coming back to life after that. There's 0 cases
Yeah,
of it.
sure.
And so if a doctor told me, I'm terribly sorry, we've done everything we can, we know he's still breathing, but he's not living, he is brain dead, I would pull him because I, I don't want to continue my suffering and I don't want to continue the rest of my family suffering and
Right.
watching my child waste away like that.
Well, just think about, if you were in that situation, would you still want to be around? I wouldn't.
No. Pull the
Absolutely
plug.
not.
Hey, you go in for to get your tonsils out. I'm pulling the plug. So
No, absolutely. I want everybody to know it's on record. If a doctor declares me legally brain dead, pull the fucking plug. Don't listen to my family. Get them overridden. Pull the plug.
there was this case years ago, and I can't think of her name right now. Maybe it was Terry.
Yeah, the girl that was legally brain dead.
Right, and she had told her husband that they had a discussion previously that if anything ever happens, she would want him to pull the plug, but nothing was in writing. And the parents were fighting they wanted to care for her.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen video where they show her reacting to certain things, like when they would show certain stimuli and she would react. So they said, we will assume everything, the financial costs, the care for her. We want her kept alive and to live with us. But the husband had the power of attorney or the rights to make that decision, and he said no, and it kept escalating up to where it was
federal courts.
To federal courts, and then they removed her feeding tube, and then I guess
and she died.
She was able to she starved to death. But I mean, at this point, like the husband, he was he was ready to get married again. This had gone on so long that everybody, their life kind of moved on, but he stood fast and he's like, no, this is what her wishes were. And the parents were going, why at this point just give her to us, we'll take care of everything. So it was that one was kind of a
don't listen to my crazy ass family.
No.
I don't want my crazy ass family making those decisions for me, because they will fight over the blood in my body. Bastards.
Yeah. Well, mine
Will
was.
they fight to keep you alive, or I mean, will they be fighting to who pulls the plug? Like, what's their fight?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good question on them.
Right? Because in my family, like, I have a very crazy sister, and she'd be like, "I'm pulling the plug." She'll sneak in, she'll break in at night. She's like, "I'm
Put
the
a
one
pillow
who
over
do
your
it."
face.
Yeah.
I got a
And
sister
that's
like
just
that.
now. That's not even if I'm in that situation.
It's awesome. So
Your ketchup?
my catch up. It's pretty simple. Cali guy came back on Friday. We've been anticipating his return all week, and he came back on Friday, which is fabulous. And we have just been fucking like rabbits since then, when we haven't been drinking scotch and whiskey at the Highland
Adventure
Games.
Bunny.
Yes, Adventure Bunny had quite the adventure. Actually, this was the reason I did such a big deal about Adventure Bunny. Is 5 years ago at the Highland Games, I bought Adventure Bunny because I had my son with me. He was really little. I needed something to entertain him with, because I was in a really bad place in my head at the time, and so I got the bunny and I gave it to him, and that bunny has sat on the dashboard of all the cars I've driven since then, and gone on all these adventures with us. And he goes to all the festivals we go to and stuff. And so this was Adventure Bunny's 5th birthday, I guess.
It reminded me when I saw that, my daughter, ever since like when she was born, she had gotten this bunny from somebody, and it's like a flat, lovey, snuggle bunny. And so she would often lose it. So we ended up getting Backup Bunny and Backup Bunny. So when it got lost, we're like, quick, switch. And she never knows. So we went, she was very young, and we went, Mr. Toxie and I went to Jamaica, and she stayed with her grandmother. And so we took Backup Bunny with us and had Backup Bunny pose with people and on the beach.
Oh, that's cool.
On everything we did, Bunny came with us. And so when I came back, I made her a book with the photos and a little story about Bunny's Jamaican adventure.
Yeah.
And like the very last picture was when we got back, and we handed her Bunny, and we said we took Backup Bunny with us. And it's her hugging Bunny. And it was the cutest thing, but when I saw it, it reminded me of that.
Aww.
So,
Do you have kids?
No kids.
he is a kid.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
No,
He's legal.
no kids.
Right?
Probably not until I'm 30.
That's a good age.
Yeah.
Because I see my friends, and they're 24. One girl's like on her 3rd divorce with like fucking 4 kids, and I'm just like,
That's insane.
what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can barely take care of your kids, like, I don't know. A lot of my friends down by San Diego, where I'm from, a little trashy.
Well, they may not be your friends anymore.
Right?
I'm just speaking the
Yeah.
truth.
Nah, I'm just-
Speaking the truth.
Funny, I didn't mean to jack your story.
No, that's okay.
but-
So Adventure Bunny went with us, and we took some very creative pictures of Adventure Bunny.
I like the dominatrix one. Just
Yeah, I thought that was great because we were watching the caber toss. That's where the guys in skirts toss giant light poles end over end. And so we were all sitting around. It was my mom and her boyfriend and me and my boyfriend. And my son was off playing with his wooden axe because
I saw
he
that.
wanted this wooden axe. He was like, I want that. And at some point when I was buying my new purse, they had these wristbands that had spikes all over them. He's like, can I have one of those? And they were only like $5. So I was like, sure. So, but he left the wristband and took off with the axe. It was like chasing geese around with it. And I was like, get a goose dinner, boy. And so we were posing Adventure Bunny on the table, and we were all having a good laugh. And then my mom, who I think knows, I know she knows that I'm kinky because there's a story about buying a bed for me as a surprise, and my sister had to tell her it had to have certain things on it so that I could be tied down. It's great to have my sister tell my mom that I'm a kinkster. And then, so they were posing the bunny, and so then she takes this spiked wristband and wraps it around, and she goes, look, he does bondage. So I had to take a picture of Adventure Bunny getting into BDSM. It's very funny. So we went to the Highland Games. I love the Highland Games. We go every year. There is always a scotch tasting, and sometimes there is a whiskey tasting, and they're 2 different things. You'll have to go to find out what it is. And then there's meat pies and scones with strawberries and cream.
Meat pies,
and...
I mean, doesn't that just sound weird?
No, have you ever had a meat pie?
I don't think so.
Oh, it is. Have you had a chicken pot pie?
Yeah.
Meat
That's
pie's
a meat
kind
pie.
of close to cream pie.
Chicken
Sorry.
pot pie is a meat
Sounds
pie.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. It sounds like it could go. I mean, it could be great, or it could be,
A
very
little dirty, yeah.
adult.
Just
Oh,
That
Tip-
wasn't me.
tip
Hey.
the thing up.
I know,
There
I
you
know,
go. There
I
you
Bring
go.
it close to your
try and
mouth.
get that mic down
Put
there.
it down. Toxic. Glitz is over there abusing the equipment. So I go.
Keep the mic in your
Yeah.
hands where we could see it.
Yeah.
We go every year. And Cali guy goes to these events because there's always big girls at these events, and he's right. You go out to clubs, or you go walk around the mall, you don't see a lot of big girls. But when you go to a Renaissance Fair, Pirate Fest, the Highland Games, you go to any one of these outdoor festivals, and it's populated quite a bit by large girls, big girls.
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart too.
And I'm stealing his thunder. That's via Stubo. Where you go to meet big girls is Walmart.
Walmart. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they go to these things, and they always wear the bustiers, and they have their boobs out. And he goes, I think they're great because I get to see. I mean, he loves big girls altogether, but he's right. Every event that I go to in town, those outdoor festival-y events, it's usually a lot of big girls. And he's like, I wonder why. And I'm like, meat pies, scones with strawberry and cream, homemade lemonade, Highland
I wonder
beef
if it's gonna be
hamburgers.
like that at Viva Las Vegas at the Rockabilly, because there's a lot of
big girls into rockabilly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There probably will be.
Before, not to now, I'm jacking everyone's time, but just because I see what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, did you want to give your Twitter handle, and are any of your clips or any of your what is the word?
Clips for sale? I'm working on
for
clips
sale?
for sale right now.
Your what?
Clips for sale?
Yeah. Is there any information you want to give so people can check out your stuff?
Not yet. Just check out my Twitter on Donald Trunk XXX, and I'm starting on my clips for sale right now. Getting that, I'll be coming back and forth to Vegas, getting that started because no one ever comes down to San Diego,
And you've been doing a lot of work, a lot of shoots.
Well, I'm not
but
shooting, but-
when will we be able to see those?
Wait, what'd you say?
All of the shoots you've been doing.
Uh-huh.
Where can people see those?
Hopefully when I get them up on the clips for sale, they still need to get edited. So
Okay.
they're coming up. I'm just still waiting. It takes time. Plus I'm doing so many other things right now. It's between the racing and school and doing my delivery service thing and this. It's really hard for me to find time.
What's the racing?
We only have a minute.
I come from a racing family. So my dad and my grandfather were race car drivers too.
Okay, that's hot.
That is hot.
I'm just that's hot.
Hey now.
I know.
How you doing down there?
So you can find Donald Trunk on his Twitter that he just gave out. And don't forget our earlier guest, Electric Messiah. You can find all of their information on electric-messiah.com. I have
it's on our
codes.
Facebook page.
It's on our
I posted
Facebook
them
page.
earlier.
Email me, SinCityBounty@gmail.com or Sierra@SinCityBounty.com, and I will give you a free download of their single. I have a code for their free download. So all of our listeners who want a copy of that single, just hit me up on either of those emails and we will get it to you. You've been listening to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasAllNetRadio.com. This is Sierra.
And Toxie.
Wishing you all a good night, and remember, fuck often.